Okay, the last thing that we want to do is figure out this embryological development of skeletal muscle tissue. So we want to see what is happening to, why is it different? Why do we have this neuromuscular junction versus a diffuse junction? So we know that all muscle comes from the mesoderm, that middle origin layer. We know our skeletal myoblasts are going to fuse. That's why we have these long skeletal muscle fibers with these multinuclei. So when you think about, if you think about skeletal, you think about cardiac, and you think about smooth. Smooth and cardiac have gap junctions. We call these gap junctions in cardiac muscle intercalated discs. But those are telling everything to contract at the same time. These skeletal muscle cells, instead, they just fuse into one fiber. So we get these long fibers that are going to contract all at the same time, instead of having these gap junctions that are going to tell the muscles to contract. Why? Don't know. But we know we get this fusion of these skeletal myoblasts to make these long fibers that will contract when stimulated or excited. And then the last thing we want to mention is this growth factor called agrin. So agrin is a growth factor. And growth factors, what they do is they tell the cell what to differentiate into. So this growth factor is going to say, turn into a skeletal muscle cell. So this growth factor is released by a neuron. That's close to a muscle cell. And agrin's going to do a few things. It's going to cause the promotion of junctional folds to be made. And then it's going to cause receptor sites to fall off except for, and what I'm thinking, so remember, our sarcolemma are modified junctional folds. These are the only place with ACTH receptor sites. So what I'm thinking is how it works is originally we had these receptor sites all over, but then you get agrin coming in and say, hey, only have receptor sites here, and since agrin is present, all these other receptor sites fall off. So agrin's going to cause these receptor sites to only be at this motor end plate, this modified sarcolemma, these junctional folds. All right, cool. So that's it for this section.